Human history and prehistory is filled with an endless amount of mysteries that can keep humanity puzzling over its true origins for eons to come. One of the ways we find ourselves attempting to understand these gaps in time, as well as the facts of our origins and developments, has been through the recovery of age-old artifacts, relics, buried sites, and long-forgotten written accounts. It is through these discoveries made in the archaeological field that have allowed us in the modern age to catch a glimpse as to what our ancestors may have been doing and why they were doing it. However, some discoveries are so strange and mind-blowing that it has left even the top researchers in the field questioning the legitimacy of their findings. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we will be going over 5 of the most mysterious ancient artifacts discovered that scientists couldn't explain. Zhang Heng earthquake device. Although no surviving artifacts have existed and no complete diagrams or drawings of the device have survived, there have been accounts all the way from the ancient times of young Chinese dynasties more than 2,000 years ago that talk about, in detail, a strange device capable of measuring and predicting the position of earthquakes. The device was thought to have been created by a genius known as Zhang Heng that lived in China during the Han Dynasty and was responsible for a wide variety of breakthroughs in astronomy, mathematics, science, engineering, cartography, and poetry. Interestingly enough, it appeared that the emperor during this time was well aware of the fact that when an earthquake would occur in a far-off remote region of China, it was impossible to know how and when to send aid if no one from the region had supplies vast enough to reach the emperor and alert him of the damages caused by the earthquake. This led Zhang Heng to create a device that was detailed in Chinese literature as being capable of detecting the small movements of a seismic event from far away and point towards the direction of its origin with incredible accuracy. Although the inventor would pass away roughly 7 years later, before the first earthquake could occur and prove the legitimacy of the device, the emperor writes that one day he and his servants noticed that the Zhang Heng device was pointing in a direction after having detected a disturbance. Several weeks later, a messenger arrived from a distant land claiming that a region had been at the center of a large earthquake that caused devastation and destruction to its people that then required aid from the emperor. This confirmed the device's ability to sense the position and direction of earthquakes, and so was used then on as the main mechanism of any information regarding the natural disasters in the region. Interestingly enough, modern-day seismographs, devices that research scientists use to measure the intensity and direction of an earthquake, follow the same principles outlined in the Zhang Heng earthquake device. This more than proves the validity of the device and ancient texts, and proves that the ancients had far more knowledge and awareness of the world around them than we give them credit for in the modern day. The lost tomb of Antony and Cleopatra. Although this might not fit the motif of a discovered artifact, the lack of discovery surrounding this ancient historical site is more than enough to cast both mystery and uncertainty in the field of Egyptology and archaeology. One of the most sought-after discoveries in the field of archaeology is that of the discovery of the lost tomb of Antony and Cleopatra. According to ancient accounts, after the Roman leader Augustus defeated Antony and Cleopatra back in 30 BCE, he permitted them to be buried together in the city of Alexandria located in Egypt. Despite this report and detailed announcement of the Suetonius and Plutarch records that elaborated that Antony had been cremated and placed into a large jar, Egyptologists and archaeologists are more than confident that the body of both rulers will be found mummified in a traditional Egyptian manner. Back in 2008 and 2009, popular Egyptologist Zahi Hawass announced that with the discovery of the Temple of Osiris within the city of Alexandria in Egypt, that he will be able to find the hidden tomb of Cleopatra and Antony. Unfortunately, despite more than 27 tombs being uncovered and 10 different mummies located in the region, not one of the tombs was indicative of that of the long-lost tomb of Antony and Cleopatra. Recently, however, there has been evidence of additional sites below when using ground-penetrating radar back in 2011. Still, the tomb eludes researchers to this day that have long since believed that raiders and other private collectors have probably already found and looted the tombs long ago. The Nazca Lines. Ancient astronaut theorists have often posited that perhaps the gods of ancient cultures that supposedly descended from the stars were not actually gods, but rather advanced alien life forms. This would make sense given the fact that many cultures directly write about how the gods came from the stars or on machines that could fly. Interestingly enough, the ancient Nazca tribes also seem to hold a similar belief to their religion, and the evidence in the area only shows this further that it could very well be the case. As many different pilots flew over the area of the ancient tribes, a shocking discovery was made in regards to what they could see from the sky. Lines drawn out in the desert were made visible from the sky that appeared to be created over many miles of distance. In fact, the lines were detailed images and navigation trails that would have helped possible aircraft find areas to land and travel to. This has led many of the ancient astronaut theorist communities to believe that perhaps the tribe helped their gods by creating these lines in the sand that were only visible from the skies. This would be a plausible explanation, as the lines on the ground are not visible and would not be able to be used religiously or for any other important purpose without the ability to see it from the sky. Interestingly enough, the lines seem to be very old and ancient and provide proof as to the tribe's advanced knowledge in geometry in order to create massive images in the sand that they could never see themselves. Additionally, these pieces appeared to be images of things the tribes held with utmost importance, such as that of different kinds of animal life and strange symbols that are nearly impossible to understand. Today, experts have no explanation as to the cause for the creation of the lines or the purpose they serve outside of both a religious connotation and assistance in aviation. The Pipes of Gong. On and around the White Mountain, located roughly 40 kilometers southwest of the city of Dalinga in the Qinghai province in China, are strange features that travel through the White Mountain, inside its caves, down to the shores of a nearby lake and other surrounding areas that appear to be remnants of old pipes. Originally dismissed by archaeologists and other researchers in the area as nothing more than old root systems that had decayed centuries ago, further investigation yielded clashing results. Inside the large caves of the mountain appeared to be open spigots of these pipe-like features coming up and out of the ground, a behaviour not seen in any root systems in the world. Interestingly enough, after further analysis of the materials were provided, researchers found that the remnants of the pipes appeared to be highly radioactive for some unknown reason, and smaller materials found in the area that are described by researchers as rusty scraps of strangely shaped stones were tested and found to contain 30% ferric oxide, a form of rusted iron, and incredibly large amounts of silicon dioxide and calcium oxide, meaning that these materials appeared to be artificially created and not to have formed naturally. Another point made of wide debate is the fact that the peak of the White Mountain appears to be strangely uniform in nature, forming the shape of a pyramid at the top. Given the appearance of this, many theorists have posited that perhaps the mountain is not exactly what it seems, and was completely artificially created and acts as a giant mechanism. The Antikythera Machine. Retrieved from a shipwreck back in May of 1902 off the coast of the Greek island Antikythera, after which the machine has been named after, the Antikythera mechanism has put historians and archaeologists in a tight spot after engineers analysed the machine and realised what it was designed for and its overall purpose. The mechanism itself appears to be an early type of analog computer and was built to be so precise and accurate that it could predict astronomical positions, eclipses, the 4-year cycle of athletic games, the cycle of the ancient Olympic Games, and other important events decades in advance. After intensive carbon dating, it was found that the Antikythera machine was created by Greek scientists between 150 and 100 BC, eons ahead of previously known knowledge about the extensive intelligence and craftsmanship of the ancient Greek civilization. This meant that the device seemed to have held advanced information that archaeologists, historians, and other experts did not believe existed for another few centuries or so. Given this finding, many have begun to speculate that perhaps our early ancestors were far more capable than we may have ever realized before, and that perhaps their technology was significantly more advanced than we could have ever known. This has only worked to challenge modern theories of ancient civilizations, and has led some theorists to believe that perhaps there were more analog computational devices at the time. But what do you all think of these 5 strange and mysterious ancient artifacts that scientists and researchers from all around the world can't seem to explain in the modern day? Be sure to let us know in the comments down below, and be sure to share your answers and questions about the video to help grow our community and share insightful comments about the nature of these topics. Hopefully, as we continue to grow our community, we will one day be able to solve these unexplainable mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.